Chase Sapphire Preferred, Chase Sapphire Reserve, Chase Freedom Flex, and Chase Freedom Unlimited. We spend a lot of time talking about these four card products, and for a good reason. They're really great products with great rewards programs that work well for cash back and for travel. But if we take a step back and look at these cards and all of Chase's other cards from a broader angle, we'll notice that they have some really big problems. In fact, I can think of at least 5 huge problems that Chase credit cards have. So how about this? Let's begin with the first one that's probably the most dramatic, affecting all of you travelers out there. And you maybe have felt this a little bit over time, but you probably weren't fully aware of it. So here is the first problem. Chase has very few unique transfer partners. Allow me to prove this to all of you. Here are all of the Chase transfer partners for airlines at this moment in time. As you can see, there are 11 of them, from Aer Lingus all the way down through Virgin Atlantic Flying Club. Now, next to that, we're going to put American Express's airline transfer partners. We can see they've got 17. After that, I'm going to add Capital One. They've got 15 airline transfer partners, and then Citi there in the far right-hand corner with 14. And then I'll also add the hotel transfer partners there at the bottom for you to see as well. Most of them have 2 or 3. So right off the bat, we can see that Chase has the fewest number of airline transfer partners compared to the other 3 major bank programs. Now let's go back over to that list and show you something a little bit more unbelievable. As your eyes move around the screen looking at one program to the other and comparing and contrasting which ones they have in common, you'll notice that Chase only has 4 unique transfer partners now highlighted in yellow font. We've got Southwest Rapid Rewards and United Mileage Plus on the airline front, and for hotels, we have IHG One Rewards and World of Hyatt. Or to look at this a different way, we can also color code all of the overlapping programs from Chase all the way through Citi. So let's do that right now. We now have, for example, Aer Lingus, which is in green font, Air Canada is in red, Air France KLM flying blue, in the darker light blue color, so on and so forth down the list. So basically, whatever program also shares the same program with Chase, they have the same color going from left to right. Then those same 4 programs that are unique to only Chase are in regular white font with little arrows to the left-hand side. So out of the 14 total transfer partner programs that Chase has, only 4 of those are unique among the big 4 banks. We have United and Southwest on the airline side and World of Hyatt and IHG on the hotels. But of those 4, only 2 of those are pretty much worth using anyway. Southwest is a fixed rate program, so you can never get outsized big 3, 4, 5 cent per point valuations when you redeem with Southwest. So I won't say you should never use Southwest. It is still very useful for topping off your account. For example, if you had 45,000 points and you needed 50,000 to make a Southwest flight happen, transferring the remaining 5K from Chase over to Southwest can still be a good strategy to help you make that trip a reality. But I probably would not transfer all 50 or 60,000 points from Chase over to Southwest if you had 0. And with IHG, although that is not a fixed rate program, it is dynamic. Still, IHG points on average are worth 0.5 cents per point. So you gotta have a pretty remarkable valuation on that front to make up for the guaranteed flat rate you get from the Sapphire Preferred of 1.25 cents or 1.5 with the Sapphire Reserve. So again, Chase really doesn't have much utility for a lot of people with those 2. Therefore, Hyatt and United can pretty much be the best 2 out of those 4. And it gets even worse. Let's do this exact same comparison again, but this time bringing in a 5th rewards program, the Bilt Rewards Alliance. Bilt is a significantly newer program than Chase, yet they've already gotten more airline partners than Chase. They're up to 12 compared to Chase's 11, and on the hotel side, they have both IHG and World of Hyatt. So now we're gonna do the same highlighting here with yellow. If we compare all of these from left to right, Chase now only has 1 unique transfer partner, which is Southwest Rapid Rewards. And doing the same color coding as we did before to see every airline or hotel that overlaps with Chase, we can again see Southwest there with that little arrow in regular white font, and everything else is covered by either Amex, Capital One, Citi, or Bilt, both with the airlines and those hotels, which is absolutely crazy and catastrophic for looking at Chase's overall value proposition. So for everybody out there who's written to me in the comments of past videos about how bad the transfer partners are from the likes of Capital One or Citi and how great Chase is, Hopefully now seeing it all laid out objectively on the screen shows you that that was not the case. Problem number 2. One of Chase's best transfer partners, that is Hyatt, is a very small program. Believe it or not, as I make this video in early 2023, Hyatt has around 1,600 properties worldwide. Comparing that to 6 other major hotel programs recognized worldwide, we can see how tiny that footprint actually is. We've got Accor with over 5,000 properties, IHG at over 6,000, both Choice and Hilton with over 7,000, Marriott Bonvoy at 8,000 plus, and Wyndham Rewards at 9,000 plus. That makes Hyatt super tiny. And translating all that into more practical terms, there are way fewer Hyatt hotels to choose from when you go on a trip. And for the ones that may be located where you are going to a certain city, country, or state, they may not be in the ideal location where you want to be. So while the likes of Marriott or Hilton might have, say, 20 hotels to choose from around a certain area, Hyatt might just have 3 or 4. And also for those of you who are really big city travelers, perhaps you go to the likes of Chicago, Miami, Los Angeles, Dallas, etc., then those cities pretty much will have no problem for you with a Hyatt hotel. Hyatt does have a good presence in those major cities, but anywhere outside of that, you're gonna find more and more difficulties finding value out of Hyatt. Problem number 3, Chase offers 0 personal core cards with a dedicated gas category. And by personal core cards, I'm referring to these right here, the ones that earn ultimate rewards points on the personal side that are not co-branded with other airline, hotel, or retail partners. Basically the ones that offer the most valuable points. So here are the current core cards on the personal side from Chase. We have all 3 flavors of the Freedom cards with the Student, Unlimited, and Flex versions, as well as the 2 Sapphire cards, the Preferred and the Reserve. Now I will mention that the Freedom Flex there on the far right typically earns 5% on gas for at least 1 quarter out of the year or 3 months, but that of course does not qualify as a dedicated or permanent gas category that is valid year round. Now perhaps you're thinking, well, maybe Chase does not know how to structure a rewards program using gas station rewards. Perhaps it's just too complicated and they just don't know how to make that actually advantageous from a financial perspective. Wrong. How about this? They actually have 12 credit cards on the co-branded side across business and personal, all of which have some sort of dedicated gas station category. Up at the top, bordered in the white dotted line here, we've got the business cards from Hyatt, IHG, and United, all issued by Chase, and even one of Chase's core business cards, the Ink Business Cash. But because it's not a core personal card, I could not include it here. Even worse, however, the rewards category is only 2% back on gas with the Ink Cash, which is really not that rewarding at all, considering how many other cards there are on the market that earn 2% on any category. The remaining 8 cards are all on the personal side, but they're not going to earn ultimate rewards points, which is what we're after. So there's the Instacart card, the Disney Premier, IHG Traveler, IHG Premier, Marriott Bonvoy Boundless, United Gateway, and then the 2 Amazon cards. The one that is the standard Amazon card and then the Prime version as well. And despite some of those rewards categories looking pretty good on the surface with 3x or 5x points, remember those again are not Chase points. And those values, if you were to put them in terms of cashback terms, would be around 1.5 to 2.5% cashback equivalent in the form of hotel or airline miles. So really not that rewarding for gas. Chase, you've got work to do, especially considering that American Express, Citibank, and Wells Fargo all issue cards with dedicated gas categories. Problem number 4. Chase offers 0 core cards with a dedicated traditional grocery category. Here are the same 5 core personal cards that we saw earlier from Chase. And out of all of these, the only one with a dedicated grocery category is the Chase Sapphire Preferred, but it is only for online grocery purchases and it excludes Target, Walmart, and wholesale clubs. And yes, once again, the Freedom Flex typically has groceries as one of its quarterly categories throughout the year as well, but again, that's only for 3 months. So if you order your groceries online and then go to pick them up later or have them delivered, then you're doing just fine with the Sapphire Preferred. But for anybody else out there who doesn't do that, if you just want to run into the grocery store, grab what you need and leave without having to order online or plan a list up front, then really all you've got is just the Freedom Flex for maybe 3 months, and then the rest of the 9 months of the year, the best you can do earning ultimate rewards points is the Freedom Unlimited, just 1.5 points per dollar. Not great. Especially again considering that American Express, Citibank, and Capital One all offer cards with permanent year-round grocery categories. And perhaps you're thinking once again that Chase's team just doesn't know how to put together a compelling rewards program that incorporates a traditional grocery category that works year-round. Wrong again. Look at these 8 cards that Chase has on the co-branded front with their newest DoorDash card, Disney Premier, Marriott Bonvoy Bountiful, Marriott Bonvoy Boundless, the Aeroplan card, Instacart, and the 2 Amazon cards again. What you'll notice here is that 5 of these are in white font. Those are just regular broad grocery categories. Terms do apply because they might have caps or like a combined limit along with other purchases, but they are grocery categories. And then the other ones in gray at the bottom are more niche purchases. For instance, Instacart is only 5% on Instacart orders, and then the Amazon cards are 3% back only at Whole Foods or 5% with the Prime version. So if Chase can do it with their partner cards, then why can't they do it with their own core cards? I'm sure they can. I bet there are reasons why they haven't, but again, when we've got other cards from other banks really being able to do that with their own cards, it kind of leaves me wondering, like, why hasn't Chase taken some sort of initiative to do it and make it work economically for them? You can put caps and restrictions. For example, Amex is very well known to do that with their gold card at a maximum of $25,000 per year, or with their Blue Cash Preferred, a whopping 6% back at grocery stores in the US, up to $6,000 of spend. Putting those caps in place allowed American Express to launch at least 2 really compelling cards for groceries and still make it work financially for them as a business. Chase can obviously do the same too. And finally, problem number 5, Chase has a lot of rules. For those of you who've been into the credit card rewards game for at least a little while, you're probably very familiar with the Chase 524 rule. But are you also familiar with the Chase 230 rule? How about the 130 guideline? Or the 24-month same card rule, or the 24-month same family rule, or the 48-month one Sapphire rule. Like I said, there are a lot of rules. So if you want a detailed guide to how all of these work and what they mean, I did a separate video all about them just dedicated to this topic of how to get approved for Chase credit cards. Be sure to watch that one after this video to make sure that your chances of approval are going to be higher by following those rules. And with all of that said, I want to conclude here by saying that Chase cards, especially the ones that earn ultimate rewards points, are some of the best cards on the market today. But going over these 5 major issues is very important to be aware of, because if you're a huge spender on traditional groceries or gas or any of the other problems that we cover, it's good to be aware of Chase's limitations, because if you want to combine some Chase cards with cards from Citi, Amex, or others and have kind of a mixed setup or strategy, that can work very well too, especially if Chase cannot answer or account for all of your needs. So if you enjoyed today's video and believe it could benefit other people, then please help me get it in front of them by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on those notifications. That way you never miss an awesome credit card upload. Also, check out the links down below in the description area to earn some more cash back when you shop online through Rakuten, to get some free stocks from MOOMOO when you open and fund a new account, and to view my site with some great credit card offers that I've organized into different categories to help you find the cards that you like best. I thank you all for watching today's video. I hope it brought you some great value. I look forward to seeing you in future videos, and while you're waiting on the next one to hit this channel, always remember that you are great.